Hello guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. This is Domas, or welcome if it's your first time here. I wanted to dive into one of the traits of schizotypal personality disorder, which is if somebody with STPD has a close friend, then it's usually their first degree relatives, and it's very hard to make friends or have like trustworthy friends when you're on STPD, because you have social anxiety and you have suspiciousness. So even with my parents, for example, for a long time when I was younger, I didn't trust that they had their best intentions for me. Even till this day, sometimes I'm doubting it. And I had a chat today, that's why I wanted to touch upon this topic. I had a chat today with my mom, who is probably my closest relative, and I mean, your mom should be your closest, but it's not always like that necessarily. And I had quite a deep chat with her because she watches my videos. Hi, Mom. And she said that she doesn't agree with the word disorder, and we had a little discussion because, it doesn't matter what kind of word you put on it. It's not a disease, but what is the word disorder? There's order and there's disorder. So, I kind of was proving the point that, if you name it just like traits, of some sorts, you have certain type of traits, personality traits, then it's cool. But it's disorder because sometimes you feel like your life is a mess, and it depends if you take that disorder and make it into a strength, then yes, then maybe you don't necessarily need to call it a disorder. But if you're finding it hard to make it your strength or to see it as a strength, then it will be a disorder. I think about it like this. I don't think about it that it's something bad that I have. I just think, there's certain traits now that I know that I have that they put me in this box, and sometimes to me, like Nick was saying, hi Nick, sometimes it's good to separate things. And now when I'm separating me from my thinking and me from my STPD thinking, I can see a clear boundary. So it's easier to differentiate from like the healthy me. And the healthy me is the one that understands that there's this disorder and implements the knowledge into everyday life. Because I know for myself that I'm the best when I'm moving around. Like, I feel the best when I'm, let's say, going for a walk. So, but sometimes I'm going for a walk just to sort of distract myself. And when I'm starting to distract myself with distractions, like I go for a walk just to go for a walk, like, and not to, let's say, take a break from painting, then I might go for walks for forever and never actually get anywhere. I don't know if this is making any sense, but now I this morning I was like, that's it, I'm going for a walk, I'm not going to paint. And then I was like, I'm just going to prepare for the next painting. And I set everything up, and I did another painting. Eventually, I set everything up, I painted for a bit, I made breakfast, and then I finished the painting while I was talking to my mom and watching Black Mirror. So now I'm going for a walk because I'm kind of cold and I need to move around, and it's Sunday and I'm treating myself to a walk. I'm gonna go see my grandma and yeah, just maybe talk to some people at the cafe if I see anybody that I know, or even if I don't know. So I'm sort of taking time out from painting just because I know that I did quite a bit in the last couple of days. So I'm allowing myself, but I'm not going for a walk just because I feel bad. Like, so I'm gonna go for a walk and make myself feel better. No, I'm like, I actually did some work towards a goal, and I'm going to do some walking around. So I'm not running away from the issues. But to come back to the topic with my mom, you know, I had a deep chat, and that chat is gonna last me for, you know, at least a couple of days or until the next time I speak to her, because we have a deep connection with her, and we can have deep chats, and we can connect on multiple levels. And she was talking about how, which I never heard come out of her mouth, I think, but I was always thinking myself. And she was saying how, you know, when she comes across people with autism, on the autism spectrum, at her work, she works with children. Like, she's a psychologist, I think. She's studying psychology and she's working with children in the psychological field, let's call it like that. And she says whenever she comes across people on the spectrum, she's like, wants to really ask the question, is it really these children that are disabled, or, you know, that they have some sort of disability or a minus, you know, or is it that who is actually sick here? Who is the patient? And the, you know, who says, what code says that this person is ill, or this person is wrong, or the way they are is not the right way to be? Like, who wrote it down? You know, because they're just different people. They're different people, and they're acting differently, and they're doing different moves, and, you know, maybe we can't adapt to them. So then we are more able, so we write down and say that they have this or this disability, you know. So nobody knows really, and at least unless you're that person, unless you're the one that has autism, unless you're the one that has STPD, you don't know. But we can just tell our story, like I can tell my story. For a while I lived in squats, and I didn't care about myself that much, and I was really suspicious of everything, my family, the government, the system, you know. And I was like denying everything, social media, like didn't have anything, I just wanted to skate. Skateboarding was my answer to everything. So I did. It didn't last for long. Slowly I started to mold into the person that I am now, who is in the system just like everybody else, even if they're outside of the system. They're still outlaws, they're still in the system of the law. They're just outside of it, but they're outside of the system. So in regards to the system, they're still, I don't know, to me it seems like you're just part of it. You're just part of this whole system that is humanity and this world and this earth. So, you can't really escape it, I think. Maybe you can. Tell me the answer if you can. Maybe I'll escape with you. I don't know. But it didn't bring me joy. That's the thing. Like, for some reason, I wanted to escape that. So I reintegrated, or I'm reintegrating still, because it's hard. I don't know if it's STPD or whatever, but I feel like it's hard to regulate your life according to your needs and your wants. Like, it's hard to even understand what you want and what you need sometimes, because you're so lost, because I'm so lost in my own brain. It's hard to get what it is that I actually want to do. So when I do find it, like for example making art, when I find that I can do it and I have this little motor inside me that says, oh, you might not want to do it 100%, but there's something inside you that you can sit with this piece for an hour or two and work on it, and time just flies by. So it's almost like you're just looking for things to do to pass the time. You're not like enjoying it. You just found something to do to pass the time. And that's another way that I'm thinking. So to come back to the topic of close relative, first degree relative as a friend, like, that's for sure is my mom. Like, she is able to listen. And I have friends, but I wouldn't say that they're close friends, like, in a way, everybody is my close friend. If I can have a deep conversation with you, you're my close friend. I might not speak to you for another 5 years till our next conversation, but I just find those conversations fruitful. So that's it, I guess, for now. I want to say that I'm proud of you guys, that I love you, that I appreciate you for all the work that you're doing, and that I want to say, keep doing what you're doing, keep doing you, keep being yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for coming here. I'm proud of you. Love you guys. Peace.